All right, time now to see what's grabbing headlines here in France. And Florence Villamino joins us. Beginning with a look at French politics, a busy weekend with conferences and rallies. And this was after a major shakeup, of course, in the presidential and parliamentary elections.
That's right. Just to give you an idea of how busy things are going to be this weekend, a look at this calendar. You can read it in La Croix, the Catholic paper today, showing just what to expect this weekend. You have the communists, the unsubmissive France movement. You have the Socialist Party and Les Républicains. They're all holding what they call kind of an université or some sort of variation on that theme, a summer school, essentially, where they get together and hash out ideas. And this busy schedule is going to continue well into September. You can see all these key dates here. It's what they call la rentrée politique, back to school for politicians.
Back to school, but will be painful for many parties, as some on the left and right still licking their wounds after the elections.
It was quite a brutal election season for parties across the political spectrum. If we take a look at the front page of La Croix, they have a good way of putting it. They're talking about the puzzle of the opposition. Puzzle because the opposition is fragmented into several divided pieces. In fact, La Croix talks about crumbs. On the left, you have several clans. You have the socialists, the Greens, the communists, the unsubmissive France movement that with their leader Jean-Luc Mélenchon. And then on the right, you have this divide between the far-right National Front and the conservative Les Républicains. But even within those parties, there are lots of divisions as well. Now, according to La Croix, the opposition is more preoccupied with inner fighting than actually opposing Emmanuel Macron. And all this is very good for Macron and his government.
Yeah, very good. But at the moment, Macron has seen his opinion polls slipping this week after several high-profile politicians have been criticizing his policies.
That's right. We saw the former president, François Hollande, coming out to criticize Emmanuel Macron. And now it's actually Alain Juppé. You might remember Alain Juppé, the mayor of Bordeaux. He had hoped to represent Les Républicains in the presidential election. And he has his 2 cents as well. He's judging Macron's beginning, at least, of his presidency, saying he wants to shake up French politics, but according to the mayor of Bordeaux, he's been hearing that for 40 years, which is about how old Emmanuel Macron is. Now, he gives an interview to Sud-Ouest where he says that he wants his ideas to be heard. Now, he's holding his own closed meeting with supporters in Bordeaux this weekend at the same time that Les Républicains are holding another meeting in Le Touquet. Why this private gathering? Well, he says he wants his ideas to live on as the Conservative Party goes through what I guess you could say is a major identity crisis.
And it's not the only one. The Socialist Party going through an identity crisis of its own. Some people calling on it to change its name.
After all, the Socialist Party suffered what you can only call it a humiliating defeat in these elections. Of course, their candidate didn't even make it to the second round of the presidential election. So people are calling for a new flashy name to start things over. So what is this new name? Well, the Socialists. Not the Socialist Party, the Socialists.
Sounds like Les Républicains.
Well, that's exactly what the argument is. You have Les Républicains, you have Les Insoumis, and now you would have the Socialists. Now, what do socialist supporters think about it? Well, Aujourd'hui en France, Le Parisien interviews some of them, and they say, well, it's quite charming, this new name, but if it's just a change in packaging, no thank you.
All right, well, let's move on from French politics to a word about sports and Neymar Jr.'s record-breaking transfer to PSG. Papers are focusing on other expensive transactions that are in the works.
Let's take a look at those rumors, I guess you could call them. It's on the front page of Aujourd'hui en France, Le Parisien. You can see Neymar Jr. there with his record €222 million transfer from Barca to PSG. In the middle there, you have Ousmane Dembélé, the French striker. He's expected to transfer from Dortmund to Barca, and he could transfer for just under 150 million euros. That would be the second biggest transfer in history. So you can see Aujourd'hui en France talking about l'été de toutes les folies, the madness of summer. And of course, there you have Kylian Mbappé. There's also a rumor that he's going to transfer to PSG. And also, you can see the figure right behind me for about 150 million as well.
Shopping season in football. Now, Sports Daily L'Équipe says Dembélé's transfer is a done deal and a dream come true.
It's a childhood dream for the 20-year-old. If you take a look at the front page of L'Équipe, they're saying, welcome to the big league, or rather, welcome to the giant league. And you can see a photo of him on the front page there. Les Échos also focusing on those rumors, but this time about Mbappé, and taking a quite critical spin on just how extravagant these transfers are, saying, look, if he's going to transfer for 150 million euros, it's like he's being transferred for 2 million euros a kilo, according to his weight. And Les Échos suggests that football players wear the amount of money they earn on the back of their jerseys instead of their names.
All right. Well, let's end with a different note and a cat story involving France 24.
This, I must say, is, I think, my favorite article I've ever talked about in the press review, and I've been doing it for a long time. It's about our colleague Anne, and this is a story you can read in Le Parisien. She found her missing cat. You can see a photo of him there. After 9 years. Now, the cat's name is Calinou, Cuddles, and he disappeared in 2008. Anne searched desperately for him and eventually lost hope. But earlier this month, she got a call from a vet saying they'd found her cat. But she has 4 other cats, and so she was quite confused. But then she realized that it was Calinou, Cuddles, who had been found 425 kilometers from where he'd gone missing. He was identified thanks to a tattoo in his ear that eventually led him to Anne. She says, we'll never know what happened to him, but here he is, and here, indeed, is a photo of their happy reunion.
And after 9 years, I'm guessing those cuddles all the sweeter.
Indeed.
Florence Villeminot with a roundup of the French press. That's it for now.